Oh, that's not facing the wrong way. Don't mess with those things, buddy. Is that right? No, that's right. Hey, everybody. How's me in here? You're helping? You gotta watch right now, and you can't help with this part, okay? I know. You can watch, though. Can you help me? Can you go get me some gloves? They're under the sink in the bathroom. We'll see how that goes. You can just bring the whole box if you need to, buddy. There should be one that's open. Nope. Feels like this might be a Dad go help moment. You get the gloves? Good job. Thank you, buddy. It's important to wear gloves when you're spraying paint at stuff, buddy. My hands are stuck. Oh no. Am I in Discord? Did I do that? Did I get into a Discord? I don't even know. It's right here. Yeah, see? You can see me. Is it on? I don't even know. Nope. It's on now. Alright, let's move this one off.
Do I get a glove?
No, you won't need a glove, buddy. This guy's missing a backpack piece. That's alright. Are you humming with it? Is that what you're doing? There's one.
One more.
We're gonna do a lot of these, buddy. Like this.
Are you sure? One, please.
Yep. We gotta go through all those and get them all painted. Alright, let's see how much paint we have left. How much did that do? I went through quite a bit of our paint. We can probably get one more done. This guy still seems a little bit wet. Let's go ahead and pull him off. What do we need next? Let's do... Don't mess with the magnets, buddy.
Let's do this one.
Okay, let's do this one. Alright, another plague brain. Didn't much better flow out of it. I think my paint wasn't mixed well. Well, I'm just gonna hand do one. Since we have more paint still. Feels like we might be out now. Yeah, we're definitely out. Alright, let's reload. Just found you today because of the Mini of the Month stream. Awesome. Thank you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Right now we're working on our Deathguard. Just using our airbrush to kind of get them all base coated. So, thanks for stopping in, man. Really appreciate you. We'll be doing another Mini of the Month soon. About 7 days is when the next one comes out. Whatever Saturday's closest to that. Probably the one after, I think. So not next week, but probably the following.
What is that thing? It looked like a purple.
Just filling up the airbrush right now. My son's here watching with us. Alright, so that's our Imperial, or I'm sorry, that's Monarch Purple that's going on here. Don't put your hand in front of the camera, buddy. And then we have some preluted dilution stuff to dilute with. Put that in there. Did you watch all the videos for the Mini of the Month? But you didn't have primer? Ooh. Yeah, I highly suggest priming first, or airbrushing on some paint first. Whatever you have at your disposal. Because that paint will just stick so much better. It takes a lot less coats. Plus, if you use a black primer, it's going to fill in those spaces a lot better. So even with these, I opted to do black primer. I did one without the black primer, and it's so much more purpley, which is neat. So this is the one that I did without black primer. So it's a lot more bright purple, which looks kind of cool, but I don't know how the paint's going to stick. We're going to find out. Oh, nice.
Hey,
Very nice.
Dad.
What, buddy? What you talking about?
Daddy will paint all the things.
Yeah, we're gonna paint them all.
Paint them
Alright, let's
all.
see. There we go. Got some good flow going again. I like using my handles for this because it's easier. But that's okay. We'll do it without. My son's humming with the machine. And if you're just getting into painting and you want to get into airbrushing, it's really actually pretty easy just to do base coating with it. I wouldn't suggest doing too much more until you get some more practice, which is all I'm doing right now because I haven't had a lot of practice. But there's one in one of my YouTube video descriptions that's actually pretty inexpensive, and this is all you need. So it comes with a battery pack, a compressor built in, the airbrush, and everything. So it's pretty neat. Oh yeah, good. That's good, man. That's real good. I'm happy it turned out because it makes me nervous not to use primer. I've done it a few times, but I haven't done it recently. Let's get some of these guys off here. Yeah, if you go through here to my TikTok, you get to see a bunch of them like sped up. But I'm trying to put more content on my YouTube because it has better payouts and stuff. So if I get to the point where I'm getting paid, then it's better. But either way, wherever you want to watch, enjoy. Did you see the final result of it? If not, I can pull him over. Here's my final result mini of the month. So,
You painted this guy.
yep, I painted that one, buddy. So we dirtied him up to make him look like he's a Nurgle soldier, like a recently corrupted
What is that?
Ultramarine.
What is that?
What's what, buddy?
What is that? The camera?
The camera? It's so people can watch us paint. But I get that. I get being short. I've been there. But the biggest thing is doing the hobby. Like if you enjoy it, just do it when you can. It's not, you know, if it's not something you can do at this time, I get it. It's another one.
What good? Yeah.
I'm getting more efficient at painting these. Oh, the gold details? Yeah, they're pretty neat. I'll tell you right now, the fastest way to do gold detailing is to take your gold. So I use like this antique gold, so it's going to look like a little bit older of a gold. And you just put it on your mini, wherever you want that gold to go, so like on these chains. And then once it dries, you just take some of this shade null oil, and you just kind of go in there. Now be careful because this stuff can go all over the place because it's so thin, it's water thin. And then you let that set in the crevices. If you get too much on there, just put your brush right back up to it and it'll suck it out of there. But get that in those crevices, and that'll make it look darker in the little cracks and stuff. Here's an example. So down in these silver chains, I just put the null oil in there, and it creates depth inside of that mini. And all that metal work has got that null oil in it so that you can see the depth on it a little bit better. And then you just go back over it and just dry brush more gold over the top, and it makes it pop a lot better. But gold also beats your brush, like metallic paints also beat your brushes up. So use your older brushes when you're doing metallics. Or if you have all new brushes, just pick one and use it only for your metallics. Or just go over to like Dollar General or something and get a set of brushes and beat those up with it. This is just a massive time saver. That's what I'm noticing. It's like, because normally this would take me like 20 minutes per model or so, or maybe a little less than that, depending upon what all I'm trying to cover with it. Move your hand, buddy. You don't have gloves on. I don't want you to get hit with this paint. Yeah, so I have a friend recently that's using like the dollar store like acrylic set. You get like 10 different colors, and he painted all of his Tyranids with that without priming them or anything. So it's definitely doable if you just get the acrylic bottles. Any acrylic paint works really well, and you just be very careful as you're painting. Even if you don't have the primer, you should be able to get it done. And this is the way I do it is just the way that makes them last longer. So if you're rough on your miniatures and stuff like that, like sometimes I'll scoop all my miniatures up. I'll have them all sitting in a pile out here, and then I'll just scoop them up like that, and then that paint holds better. But whatever it takes to get it going, whatever you enjoy doing, that's what's important. Careful, Bubba. You can get the magnets everywhere if you keep doing that. Just scoop. Why don't you scoot back just a little bit, and you'll be able to get in and out easier. I didn't say you had to. I said, why don't you? You're okay. Bubba, we'll get you some that you can paint. Alright, we're dry firing again. So I'm clean here out the brush tip so nothing dries up in there. So if you want to clean out your airbrush, you just take a solution that is 90% water, 10% 99% alcohol. Just open up your top, and you get like a brush with like a cup with like a paper towel in it. Pop your top open. You just funnel that into there while you spray it in there and clean out that brush until it sprays nothing. That's spraying out clear. We're good to go. Just dump the rest in there. Now it's clean. I'd probably do that a couple more times if I wasn't about to paint some more, but it's a good quick way to clean your brush out, make sure nothing's building up inside of it. Do that every few loads or so. This is the one. Wait, where'd the one you painted go? You want to be a painter? I know, Bubba. Hey, don't mess with those, please. Where'd the one you painted go? It'll be alright.
I picked this one.
You want me to show everybody?
Show everybody.
You want me to show them?
Show them.
This is the one my son painted. All by himself. How long have I been into Warhammer? Let me think. Give me just a minute. that's a that's a thinker question. Uh, man, how old am I? It's been about 20 years that I've been doing Warhammer stuff, I think, give or take. That ages me a little bit, doesn't it? So, Parker, stop messing with the magnets. Yeah, about 20 years I've been doing Warhammer stuff, off and on. Um, and it hasn't always been Warhammer. I play a lot of miniature games, so
You're so being
alright, loading this back up again.
behind this not paint on there. Normally you can't paint anything. I can't paint anything. I can't paint anything, Daddy.
About 4 weeks. It's a good time to get into it, man. Um, the new edition is really friendly and it's very well balanced. So whatever you're playing, it's gonna be fun for you. Um, and I can't say that that's been the case for every edition. So I think that you've got into the hobby at a really good time. So I hope you really enjoy it. And I just highly suggest you do what's right for you with the hobby. So if you just like painting and building and stuff like that, that's completely okay. If you like the game, then play the game. If you like the game more than you like to paint, just put the models out there. They don't all have to be painted. Don't stress on the things that you don't enjoy. Do what you enjoy with the hobby. That's my suggestion. Because at the end of the day, it's a hobby. It's not supposed to be stressful. So that's my advice.
Now he gets it.
And if at any point in time you stop enjoying an aspect of it, stop doing that part
Now he gets
and do what you enjoy. I would say that you'll probably come back to the hobby. If you once you start it, it's kind of like an addiction. Um, so don't. I would highly suggest just keep your models. Don't ever sell them. If you're going to, like, if you want to, you get bored of an army, I would say you could trade them, but just beware that like trading can be weird. So only do that if you trust the person. So that's my suggestion on that. Do 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 do. There we go. No, you're good. I'd rather talk to somebody than not. You're great. And I hope everything goes well. I have a friend that just went through um, a bunch of health issues.
Kaka,
Not not talking about you, buddy.
but
But you're my friend too, Bubba. Um, but I have a buddy that went through some health stuff, and he bought some models or obtained some models. I'm not sure how he got them, but it really helped him as he was sitting there because he couldn't work or anything. So I think it can be therapeutic. It can be helpful. So like I said, just keep doing what makes you feel good because I think that there's a lot to this hobby more than just going out and beating each other up on a board game, like a board game. So enjoy that part of it because after a long stressful day at work, sometimes this is the best thing that you can do. Is just sit down, spray models with paint, or paint them on with brushes.
be painter. Be painter.
And sometimes your family members want to do it with you, so
Daddy,
you got to get them models too. Because that's exactly what's happening in my background. My son really wants to paint some models with me. I don't have any for him right this moment, so I'll have to go get him some. Not today, but another day.
I used to your friend. I used to your friend.
You are my friend, buddy.
But I paint this one.
Can you what?
I paint that one. And mommy paint that one.
Yep, those are the ones you guys painted. If you look around their feet, I have them all sticky tacked so that I can base them later as well. Well, not all of them, but all the ones that I built myself are sticky tacked. Anything that came, because I did trade for a bunch of these models, anything that came with them hard stuck to the base, I gotta get them off later. Running out of space.
Let's do these guys. Let's do these guys.
We're gonna get there, buddy.
This guy. No, 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 no. And this guy.
Yep, let's get that one done. Pull this one off the screen real quick. What's my favorite Space Marine Legion? Well, technically, Deathguard are a legion of fallen Space Marines. Does that count? Or are you talking like people that still follow the Emperor? Because then, because then it gets harder for me. Because I like a lot of Chaos armies as far as like Space Marines go. But if I had to pick like loyalists, um, maybe Salamanders or Dark Angels, I think. But if we're talking like in general, oh, Heresy Legions count as well. So like if we're talking like any legion whatsoever, we go Death Guard, like looking at Mortarion. Then probably number two is Emperor's Children. And then number three would be the Berserkers. And then we start to get into loyalist factions. So we talk about, like I said, like Salamanders and then Dark Angels probably. So that's probably my list of in order roughly. But like as far as like all armies go, um, obviously Death Guard are one of my favorites. I really like Eldari and Drakari. And then probably the Tau after that. Is this really loud in the microphone? The airbrush, is that really loud or is it okay? I'm not sure. I haven't listened to a playback with it yet. The only time I did was when I was editing a video. Parker, move your fingers. I don't want to hit you with the airbrush. I hope that answered the question. Ran out. Gonna do it. All out. Dang. Okay.
Need some more.
I know. I'm gonna have to load it back up again, and I guess I can do a tank after this until it runs out. It sounds like a tattoo machine. Okay, that ain't bad, I guess. Because the big air compressor I have, it does not sound like a tattoo machine. That thing is loud.
Come out. Come on. Come on. Open that. Open the mouth.
My paint's clogging up. Okay. Well, let's just do a few drops in there, see if I can finish this one model then. And we'll try to unclog that if we need to. Alright, let's just put a little bit of diluting stuff in. Hope that's not too thin. Seems like it might be thicker than before, but that's okay. There's a little bit of a delay on my screen, so. Alright, hopefully that's enough to get us through this last model here. We can move over to brush painting. So it'll probably take a little bit of a break when we move over to the brush, so I can swap everything out and get rid of this cardboard. I just don't want to overspray all over my paint. And well, I did a little bit of overspray up onto there, but not too bad. I've been trying to spray downward. Are you coming out? There we go. Might not have got it thin enough. Be really careful then. It's not thin enough, so don't cake up paint.
Paint!
Jeez. Kiddo, calm down. Alright, cool. So that's the last one. Touch that top up a little bit. That's the last one. So we'll clear our brush out, and then we'll switch over to brush painting.
We're done.
I'm done with the airbrush.
There's more. Wait. Aha. Do I click all of them? I can give me a dodo point.
Still got quite a bit of purple in that coloring. Alright, let's dump that out. See if that helps it. quite a bit of purple firing out of there. Use our brush to break it up a little bit more. Almost clean. Put a lot of paint through it this time, so it's going to take a little longer to clean. The cool thing about acrylic paints, though, is that they're water soluble, so this pretty much just breaks them down instantly. So you can get it real clean in there. Can't really see. Turn that paper towel around, see if we're spraying clear. Now we're spraying clear at least. Oh, there's a little bit more purple. Mostly spraying clear. Okay. Sprayed out mostly clear. There we go. Now we're clear. Full clear. And all the way down at the bottom, mostly clear. We'll probably have to take the airbrush apart and clean it, soak it in the parts mixture, because we got a little bit of buildup in our nozzle right there, so we're gonna have to get that out. See, because that's building up in the nozzle, so I'm gonna have to get that out of there. So. Yep. So I do need to take this apart, unfortunately, so it doesn't build up on the nozzle. And just rinse that part real quick. Parker, can you go get me a paper towel?
Paper towel?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Bubba.
What's this?
Can you just tear one off for me?
Okay.
Just want to get this mostly cleaned off. Thank you, buddy.
It's not
Alright.
bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad anymore. Alright, so we got it mostly cleaned out there.
Your like yourself?
I need to soak the parts though. So that's something that we'll have to do another time. We'll go over how to keep your airbrush clean another time though. We're not trying to paint and stuff. So, but that's this little airbrush, just getting some base coats on. So, pretty neat little thing. Let's clear that. Cool. No air built up in it, so it's not under pressure. And put the cap back on. Alright, that part is done. So I'm going to put up all this airbrush stuff. And I'm going to go on a short little break. I'll be right back. I don't have a break button, so we're going to have to manually put it on there. But we'll be here. I'll be right back. showing the old picture. What the heck? What's going on? Huh. It's like stuck. That's so weird. Let me find it real quick. Turn it off, turn it back on again. What is happening? We're gonna switch to a different camera for a second. Switch back. There it goes. That was weird. Alright, we'll slide it over back up to here. That's not quite where you go. Ooh, you're hitting the bright light now. There we go. Are we top down again? Not completely. Now we should be good top down. Is that it? No, there. Now we're hitting right. It might be a little tall too. Yeah, a little tall. That's okay. I think we're just a little weird on our angles right now. Let me fix as much as I can. There we go. My cameras were being weird. Alright. Move my tanks off of my wet palette. Oh boy. Do 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 do. Move the tanks back. We'll get to those guys eventually. We're starting with just the Marines though. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, stomach not feeling the best. Weird. Oh, we're probably gonna have to. Oh man, that'll be all right. I think actually, we might have enough room to do a little bit here. It's a little bit. Oh, where'd my? Oh, there's my paper towel. Okay, we got a little bit of space, and the palette's still wet enough, so we're all right. We don't have to change the palette. I'm not gonna do the two characters right now. I'll work on these guys later, but we'll at least work on these Marines. Kind of do a speed paint on them, and get through a lot of those guys. So, oh, there's one more over here. I knew I was missing one. And for this, I won't be using the stands, just because it's not as important. Hey, thanks for coming back. And thank you for welcoming me back. Oh, sorry, it takes a little time to get the transition for these going. So I'm gonna put this guy down here just kind of as my. This is where we're going to. He's my reference piece, if you will. I am gonna change the blades up though, so those are all gonna be metal now instead of that bone. Just because I think it will look better. And then, yeah, we'll get going here. Whew. So most of our purple's done, which is good. So now we can just kind of start going into picking details out and stuff like that, and getting all those extra colors in, and then we'll touch up purple as we need. So that is why we did this the way we did it. And we're going to use our cheaper brushes again, just because I don't want to damage any of my nice brushes until I get into painting characters. Because I take good care of my brushes, but I don't take great care of my brushes, so. What are we working on? Okay, green. Let's check this green's consistency. It's actually still pretty good. So let's go in here and start picking out greens. Not a lot of green on this guy. At least nothing that I see yet. Alright, so we're going to have to pick out some greens ourselves. Alright, let's work on somebody else then. I don't like that one yet. Let's see if we can find somebody with some cloth on him. Not sure really what I'm going to do. Okay, so here's some cloth. So we're doing the cloth in green, so I have to figure something else out to do in this green too. This paints over this purple well, which I was nervous about, so. brush is really dry. The paint's not going as far as it could. There we go. That's better. Slide stuff out of the way as I paint. So I'm trying to paint more on camera so you can see what exactly we're doing here. My wife's in the other room watching Seven Deadly Sins. I can hear it. Barely. Once. I need to finish watching Naruto. That's my current goal. And I'm going to transition to a different anime to get caught up on. Or to fully watch if it's over, like Naruto. So far, so good. I need to get my bot set up to put Discord links in so that when people are watching, they can chat with me on Discord and share pictures. Because that is something I don't have set up. Hey, he's going to come off his base. That's okay. Alright, so here's going to be the hard part. I got to get in there. Now, for me, it doesn't have to be perfect back in there where that cloth is. I just want to try to get some touches of green in there and then let the darkness of the purples and blacks do the rest for me. So yeah, like right here, you can still see some in there. The cool thing about not putting your bases on is then I can move my base like that, and I can still get a good grip on the model without touching it too terribly much. That base is going to come all the way off, which is fine, because I'm not really holding that. Yeah. Let's put our base back on before we go too much further. Okay. What other pieces do we want to be what colors? I didn't really think this through because the models I did were very basic. So I'm kind of just looking at this going, okay, where do we want what? Need. I'm gonna pick out some of the bone real quick. So grab. This is our aged bone. Actually, let's do. Yeah, let's do aged. I think it looks better here. Don't forget to shake your paints. Probably looks really weird on the camera. Seizure inducing, probably. I apologize. Colors lay better on not black. So like when you're doing whites and stuff, you want to put down a gray or something first. Same goes for like bone and whatnot. Since I have purple down, it's not gonna really hurt it here. But if I was going straight onto like a black primer, I'd really want to have like a gray underneath or something like that. Oh man, sorry about that. I didn't have the mute button in my hand, so obviously it was louder than I wanted it to be. Sorry. My paints are laying better today than they were for that first one. It's nice. It's okay if I hit this piece right here that I'm probably going to go back and paint metal, because you don't have to be super precise with these if you keep your paints thin. You can always go back and either take water with your brush and erase it with water, or you can take him off his base fully for now. Or you can do a couple different other things. I think that's a skull laying next to his foot. We're going to paint it as if it is. It looks like a skull that he's like stepping on. But yeah, you can just use a little bit of water on your brush, like clean your brush out real quick, hit it with water, and then it'll erase paint right off of other places if you hit the wrong spot. So let's say like I hit this spot right here with a dab of paint. Just clean my brush real quick, dry it just a little bit, and then I can go in here and I can just kind of like wipe it away and erase most of that. Obviously I'm going to cover this up with purple again, but and that's not really a good demo because it didn't really do it, so oh well. I'll cover that up though here in a bit because I got a little bit over there too. So the paint's not really covering. There we go. See, I called myself a liar right there. Why is that paint so wet down in there? Huh. Come on, give me some better coverage here. My paints were not laying well the other day, and this is proving my point right here. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my wet palette. Not really sure. Those are mostly covered back up now, though. Right before I came in here. It's 2 a.m. Where are you at? That is 2 a.m. Are you over in Europe? I was like, whoa. Sorry about that. There's a dog hair. My dog gets hair everywhere. You're like in the UK somewhere? There's some skin left on that skull. We're gonna paint that differently then. Sorry about the giveaway. I don't I don't get enough viewers to do giveaways yet. If we get to the point where I grow enough, I would do something like that. I would paint like a mini and give it away. But it'd probably have to be. You live in Germany? Yeah, I'm from the US. I actually have family in Germany. What part of Germany are you from? If you don't mind me asking. Don't feel obligated to answer, by the way. Only answer what you're comfortable with. This is the internet. else do we put? I'm just trying to think. Where can we put green on these guys that it'll make sense? Maybe if they have like these armor plate pieces, on like different areas, that might not be bad. Maybe like this front piece here. I was gonna do those silver though. Where do you want green at? Hmm, not really sure. My brain is racking here going, where do I put that? We'll just throw him everywhere, don't worry about it. That one's still baffling me. This one will be easy. He's got a big old cloak on, so he's gonna get green on his cloak. Northwest Germany? Lower Saxon if you... or Saxony? Let me look real quick. Not overly familiar with the Northwest Germany. I think that's kind of close to where my family lives. Let me double check though. Uh, I know a little bit of German. I'm trying to learn so that when I go over there to visit them, I don't feel so weird. Northwest. Lower Saxony. Mm. Oh, okay, okay. So you're up in. Okay. I'm not very familiar with that area. You gotta go further south for me to be familiar with it. And even then, I've never been. It's just a running knowledge of like locations. So like my family is from the Kaiserslautern area. Uh, but like if you would have been like, yeah, I'm from like Hanover area, I probably would have known a little bit better. And that's I think in the area that you're in. But I know mostly based on like where cities are located. So yeah, cause my family's over from like the French border area near Kaiserslautern, which is south of Frankfurt, if you're familiar, which I'm sure you are. It's where you're from. I'm sure you're more familiar with it than I am. To be fair, my green paint's getting really dry. I'm gonna have to reload the mat. Just a minute here. I'm gonna reload with this Viper green. If I mispronounce anything, don't be mean. Like I said, I've never been. I'm doing the best I can as an American. But I want to be better. Let's put it that way. I'm doing the best I can, but I want to be better. So there's way too much paint loaded on that brush. Actually, never been in South Germany. Ah, that doesn't surprise me. It's I know that like most European countries aren't as big as the U.S., but like to be fair, if it's not within oh I don't know if it's not within like an 8-hour drive of me, I'm probably very unfamiliar with it. And even then, that's pushing it. 8 hours is a long drive. Two hours is a 2 to 3 hour drive is about the limit anymore, unless it's for a special event. So I completely understand that. Are you much of a football fan? And by football, I mean not American football. Hey, Bubba, welcome back. You come back to watch a little bit?
What?
Just a little local club fan? But you love Formula One? I don't know anything about Formula One. I've seen it done, but I know nothing about that sport, unfortunately. Um, because it's not a thing over. I mean, it is a thing over here, but it's really not. We don't really do a whole lot of Formula One stuff. But it looks way better than NASCAR. That I can tell you, and I don't like NASCAR, so that should speak volumes to you. So I'd rather watch Formula One if I was gonna watch any kind of racing. But like I said, it's just not something that's really popular over here. Um, I'm a huge soccer/football fan. Um, I don't really get to watch a lot of the stuff from over there, unfortunately. Mostly because I don't have the TV channels to do so, and they are expensive here, or they can be, I guess. But I really do enjoy watching when I can. So I'm really excited to watch. Hopefully, get a. I'm gonna try to get tickets for the World Cup when it comes here, because there's gonna be games really close to me. NASCAR isn't mine either. I watch MMA and boxing. MMA and box. I'm not really a sports guy most of the time, except for when it comes to soccer. So I can't speak a whole lot to a whole lot of other sports, unfortunately. But I know that in Europe, soccer is very popular. So I was hoping when I put that out there that we would be able to talk about it. But I know that it's just like anywhere else. It's a throw up whether or not you're gonna get somebody that actually likes it or not. And it's probably because you probably grew up around it more than I did, and it's since it's so popular, like American football is here, it's probably something you maybe didn't grow up with as much, or maybe because your family didn't do that. There's lots of things, lots of factors that go into that. So, because like my family's huge into American football, and I can't stand that sport. Not that I can't stand it, I just don't really enjoy watching it. So, and I'm not really a big like sporting event person. I'm more into nerd stuff like Dungeons and Dragons and whatnot. So I'd much rather spend time talking about those things personally. But I figured I might have a topic that we would have a shared interest in outside of Warhammer. So I figured, hey, why not bring it up and try? You watch a lot of Lord of the Rings. That's my wife's thing, is Lord of the Rings. She loves Lord of the Rings. I am not as knowledgeable on it, but I am familiar with much of it because of my wife. So I can talk Lord of the Rings, just not as well as she can. Um, and yes, Bayern is pretty oppressive. They're a very good club. And I didn't think Germany was going to do well in the World Cup coming up. I didn't. I wish that they would because I'd love to watch. Um, but I'd love to watch one of their games in person if I ever could. Maybe even if they don't do well, because I root for them. Um, and I just really like watching specific players play. So I really like watching like Thomas Mueller play. I really like watching like Messi play. And there's some new talent coming up that's really starting to look good. So I haven't really gone through all the names of all those players yet and kind of picked out which ones I'm going to enjoy watching the most. But um, I also don't get a chance to watch because Bundesliga is harder to get than Premier League. So as you can imagine, I watch a lot more Premier League when I can, which I have a couple teams that I follow for Premier League. So, and then La Liga is even harder to get than Bundesliga. So I don't get to watch a lot of that either. So no, none of that. At least not often. Occasionally we'll get a big game on a channel that I might have or can get access to, but most of the time it's just whatever is on here, which is sometimes Premier League, but mostly the time it's not. Unless it's like soccer season and they're hyping it up for some reason to try to get more sales or something. I hope some other teams start to pull a little bit more within the Bundesliga. Now, Dortmund Dortmund is doing much better and are starting to put a hurting on Bayern. So that's kind of exciting, I bet. And with that change, hopefully that will encourage other teams to maybe come up and do a little more. It's $40 here to watch Bundesliga for a month in the winter break. You also have to pay. Geez, $40 a month on the telly to watch it? That is rough. Just to watch games. No wonder it's so hard to get games over here. Because if it's $40 for you guys, I can't even imagine. That's crazy. $40. I bet they make it though. I bet lots of people pay for that over there. That is ridiculous. People over here would riot if American football cost that much to watch a month. They would. Now some people would just pay it and do it, but like the majority of people, because of how popular it is here, I think people would lose their minds if they decided that like $40 was the cost to watch. the NFL. Maybe that's what I should suggest. Let's just start doing that. I'm gonna go become the commissioner of the NFL and be like, hey, from now on, nobody can televise our stuff, and if you do, for each television running it, it's $40 a month. What do you think? You think they'd buy it? I think they would. I think people would spend that kind of money to watch it. You gotta pay those athletes somehow, right? And then I keep the rest. No, I'm just kidding. I become a part of the greedy capitalism that is the US. Ow. Smack the crap out of that model. A little bit of overspray up onto my bottles, but nothing on the wall, which is good. I thought I maybe hit the wall with that. I didn't. I would probably split that with friends at that kind of a rate and just go watch it at their house or something when I felt like it, because I wouldn't keep up with that enough to pay $40 a month personally. Even if I lived there, there's no way. I'd rather go watch it in person. I bet those tickets are expensive though to go to an in-person game to get into one of the stadiums, and I bet they sell fast. Is the local team that you follow, are they in like one of the Bundesligas, or are they even pro, or or part of that relegation slash promotion system, wherever that is? Because I know there's several leagues as you go down. Ninety to 150. Wow. That's actually might be cheaper, I think, than like a football game. I'd have to go look, like an American football game. I'd have to look, but I think that might actually be cheaper. But I didn't calculate in the fact that we might be talking about different currency levels, so I'd have to think about that part too, and translate that over to US. Let me think on that. Give me a minute, and I'll check. Because what's that? What's that USD is what I'm wondering. Do you guys have your own currency, or do you guys use the euro? Oh, Bundesliga too? Nice. That ain't bad. It's better than Kaiserslautern, I think. Currency. You guys use the euro. Okay. So you're saying 90 euro to USD. No, it's not that much difference. So it's like $96 US. So let's look up like what it is to go to like a Kansas City Chiefs game. Let's see how much the chef games are. the Chiefs. Let's see. So, all right. The next one at the closest stadium to me. Let's see. Continue. Okay. Let's go not to the next one. Let's go let's go a little further out and see. All right, let's try this one. Okay. So let's translate it back to yours. So 257 roughly, 257 euro to watch a pro American football game. So that's crazy, crazy pricey. So honestly, going to watch a soccer game over there is cheaper than going to a football game here by almost half. I will take that any day, especially if my salary stayed the same. If I came over there, I would definitely take that any day of the week. Because that's way more affordable. Not that I would do it every game unless I bought like season tickets or something like that at a discount, but that's definitely more affordable than like 300 US just to go watch a sporting event. And they both roughly last about the same amount of time. Yeah, it is expensive. I've never been to one and I don't plan. Now, mind you, that is like the recent champions, like the Super Bowl champions. So, and I know that also like uh Dortmund is a really good team too. So like it's pretty equivocal. I mean, it's definitely not Bayern, but like it's not far. So I think that that's a fair statement. And those are cheap tickets. Those probably not the cheapest tickets you can get because I know in like some stadiums you can get cheaper tickets, but they're standing tickets. So like cheap tickets are going to be like $100 and you stand the whole game. So you're just like in a standing area and you have like you can't always see the game. Sometimes you have to watch it on a monitor up above you, which is crazy to me. Like I'm gonna pay $100 to go watch a game that I could just sit at home and watch on my television. That's just ridiculous. And I would be 1,000% more comfortable at my home. Also, if you're watching this, I'm trying to stay like keep doing all the same paint colors. Like if you're rewatching this, and just switch from model to model, and that's how I make this go a little bit faster. Is by just switching constantly and filling in all the colors for like only using the same paint color over and over and over again so that I get faster and faster at painting it. That's part of my process here when I'm speed painting an army. And mind you, I don't speed paint really at all. Like this is my normal speed of painting, and it is tedious and time consuming. So I'm not a fast painter by any means. I am a thorough painter, and I like my stuff to look really good on the table. Um, so if you're rewatching this for reasons. And if you're still watching, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel as well. That would be really excellent. It's completely free and it helps me out a ton. And then also liking this video is also a great way to help me out. And then throwing comments at the bottom. All things that you can do just by clicking your mouse and costing you nothing except for seconds of your day. which I suppose, if you want to boil that down, is technically money you could have made, but you were surfing through YouTube anyway. So why not help me out? It's my little shtick right there. That's all I had. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Gotta pay the bills, right? And by that I mean this does not pay my bills. But it'd be really cool if it did. But it doesn't. Maybe one day. Another thing that you can do completely free is share this video with your friends on Facebook or wherever you share media, Discord or otherwise. This guy's already done. Why is he in the not done pile? What am I doing here? Does this guy got any cloth on him? I'm gonna have to get creative with him. I don't see any cloth on this guy. I haven't figured those guys out yet. I don't know what we're doing with guys without cloth. This guy's got a big cloak. Let's do him. I could probably be using a bigger brush to get this done faster, but then I'd be less accurate. And accuracy, although not key in this particular situation, is nice because it means less cleanup later. I'm gonna need more green soon. For this being an hour and a half, I've done a lot of work on these models. That's crazy good with an airbrush. That did so much of the work for me. I can't even believe it. Normally, I'd probably just be finishing the purple part by now on all of these models. So, airbrush for the win, I would say. That's a good investment. For me, at least. That cut so much time out for me. Sounds like my child's dying in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. But if you can, I apologize. Also, if you are doing if you're not aware of this, then I will make you aware. Um, and if you want to learn more about this hobby, especially like the lore side of it, the current competition that GW is doing through the community website is the Red Gobbo is tracking down the person who stole presents before he could. And if you answer the questions every day, or every week for the next, is it every week or every day? I think it's every week. I think they're doing them weekly until December sometime. Then you get a chance at winning one of the Christmas boxes. And they're going to give away 10 each week. So I know that you said you're a baller on a budget over there. So if you want to do that and just do your research on who could be stealing those presents, then you might be able to win a free box of minis. And it's a pretty good deal if you win it. It's got a lot of models in it. So just so you're aware. If you need help answering the question, you're welcome to ask, and I can kind of point you in the right direction. But you gotta ask, because I'm not gonna give it away. Not for free. Also, it took me a while to figure it out, and by a while I mean like 30 minutes, because I couldn't remember everything about the particular question, and I also didn't know that it gave multiple choice. So I was going to go in and thinking I needed to go in and submit an answer as to who it was, and it didn't ask for specifically who it was. It asked about a particular time and place, so, or a particular place, I guess is more appropriate. So do with that what you will. I think I'm going to split this up into two parts on my TikTok when I go to post these videos. The part where I'm doing the airbrushing, and then the part where I'm doing the actual paint brushing. Um, so I'll use that segment in the middle where I took a break to break it apart. So that's what I think I'll do there. Let's get some paint down in there. I think that's all cloth right there, so let's paint that up. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, I'm getting a little tired. It's going to be really hard to get paint on the back of that because of the base. So we might have to paint that later, but try to get this nice and green in here. Do the handle up over here. Do, 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 do. All right. Did this guy? Yeah, this guy's got cloth. Let's get him done. Just pick another model up and keep going. You can't translate the question? Where steel meets green? Two out of the two of the two wogs out of three. And the big boss found his favorite enemy for a good brawl. That's what it says. So it's asking what war did the big boss fight in where he met an enemy? And there have been three such wars, and this is the second one of those three. Any idea? I hope that's helpful. If that's not helpful, I will tell you it starts with an A. That should be pretty helpful. Hopefully that's helpful. And if you know who the person is, I'm sure this will be very easy as we continue to go forward, because I think if they stay on theme with this this line of questioning, then I think I already know the answer to it. If not, then I can say I believe it's Armageddon is the answer for the first one. I think that's the answer. I think that's one of the possibilities. Now, I don't know if there's time limits on those, but yeah. And then it should enter you into a drawing for the week if you get it right. And choose the one that starts with an A. I don't mind if there are more people in the drawing, it doesn't bother me. You're either going to get lucky or you're not, and it's not going to matter because there's probably 500,000 or 600,000 people in that drawing already. So hopefully somebody I know wins one. If not, that's okay. There's always 2 more weeks, and then if not, then there will be other ways to get those things. So, but yeah, just put that in there. Hopefully that is helpful. And if you win, let me know. And if not, that's okay. And if I win, I'll let you know. But I probably won't. No problem. Now, to speak to that, take a little bit of a break here, and we were talking about Gazro, the orc war boss, the big boss at this time, and he met a person um, from the Steel Legion who. Okay, so let me start over. Green refers to the Green Tide, which is one of the main wogs that is part of the uh, massive orc army, and Steel refers to the Steel Legion, which is an Imperial Guard faction. So if you talk about like what wars that they fought in the Wars of Armageddon, and they fought in 3 of those. This one's referring to the second one, where Gosriel fought with I think Seven Uriel, something like that. And the crazy thing about that particular Steel Legion leader is that he has an orc arm, like a power claw from the orcs that he knows how to operate because he is able to think like an orc. And if orcs believe it works, then it does work. So that is why he is considered interesting to orcs. That may give away answers for later on, but that's okay. But I think that's an interesting thing that you should know about the Lore. And that stuff may be relevant, maybe not. I don't know going forward. I don't work for GW. I just paint their miniatures. And not even for them. I just paint them for me. So I got about 4 more of these to do green on, and then I'm probably going to be done for the night because I am getting tired. And the more tired I become, the more tired I become, the worse I get at this. I am best at first thing in the morning, but I work first thing in the morning. And that's probably why I decided that I should work first thing in the morning, so that I'm at my best. Never heard of it? You're new to the lore? That's okay. There's so much of it that you'll never feel like you'll know everything, and you'll hear a story and you'll be like, that's cool. When did that happen? They'll be like, oh, that happened in 3rd edition. And you'll be like, 3rd edition? What's that? And that was forever ago. That's about when I started playing. And even I still hear things and I'm like, oh, when that happened? They're like, oh, 4th edition. I'm like, I played during 4th edition. I don't remember that. They're like, oh, yeah. You don't remember the Eye of Terror and all that? I'm like, yeah, I remember the Eye of Terror. Well, after that, this happened. And I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. Who would have guessed it? That dude has an axe with a little, like, tentacle, and it's not attached to his body. That was crazy. That just looks so unnatural. I really should green stuff that. But I didn't notice it until just now, so it's gonna live like that. At least until a point in time where I get some green stuff, spray it, and shove it down in there. Do you not have any freaking cloth on you either? Gosh darn it. Well, I don't know what to do with you, sir. I guess you don't get green. Okay, well, put you back here. I think this is. Oh, this one has cloth. You just hang out back there. I don't know what to do with you yet. These are like reverse Deathguard, by the way. I'm painting them purple and green instead of green and purple. Reverse Deathguard. Well, that didn't sound good. Heard something crash in there. Did you break something, buddy? What you doing? Yeah. Well, buddy. What are you doing? Can you put that back for me? Okay, you can wear it for a little bit, but don't take it out of this room. You gotta leave it in here. So if you go to leave, I need you to take it off. Hey, take that off before you leave this room. Put it back. Thank you, Bubba. Does this guy have? This guy has the tube going into his chest like it's supposed to. See, now that's how it's supposed to look. The other guy's just cheeky. Which is probably what I'll have to do because I don't have enough big heavy weapons in mine. I need 4 of them and I've only got 3. But I have the stuff to make another one, but I don't think I have the right mold to put it on. So I'm probably going to have to take and get real creative and clip and build a guy, because I have a bunch of bits down there. Enough to build probably about 6 more guys and put a heavy weapon on him. But for now, what I'm doing is I'm using something that looks like a heavy weapon, that's not actually a heavy weapon, as a heavy weapon. A heavy melee weapon, that is. Because I do have all of my heavy actual gun weapons on the models. I just got green on that guy's leg. Cool. This is what happens when you get tired. You start to make little mistakes and they add up and it costs time. Time is of the essence when you're painting lots of models. Luckily, these don't have to be painted in a timely manner because I don't have any GTs coming up super soon. But I do like them painted. I really should be painting my giants right now though, because I get points in our league for it. But I didn't feel like doing that tonight. So, I don't know. I'm being selfish tonight, doing the things I want to do. While I'm waiting for that little bit of green back there to dry, just check to see, does this guy have any cloth on him? No. That's another guy without cloth. Oh, this homie. Also no cloth. So this will be the last one for tonight. And then I'm going to think about what, once I finish this green right there and make sure that that looks pretty clean. This is going to be the back here that I need to finish up and make sure it's got enough green on it. Then I'm going to think about like what I'm going to do with these guys that don't have cloth pieces on them that are back there. Am I zoomed in at all? No, I'm not. So, and I'll bring them all through here real quick and kind of talk about what I did, and then we'll get out of here because I am unfortunately getting very tired. And we've been going for almost 2 hours, so not bad. Pretty good progress for 2 hours. So these painted, this guy finished up here, and we'll just talk about what we did. Okay, there we go. Alright, so earlier today I primed everything black. Then we airbrushed on our purple to get them to this point. So we went from black to purple, and we did it fairly thoroughly, but if there's any black showing, that's okay, because it's going to make up the shadows. And then on one of the models we started doing a little bit more, just to kind of see how it would break them up. And then we did all of our green bits, all of our cloth green bits on all of them. Most of them are little like codpiece style things, but then some of these have the bigger capes on the back. So we're getting all the green done, got all that done for the most part. End goal is to get to this stage here, so we'll do green bits, then we'll go in and do our purple, and well, these start out, we'll start out pink, and then we'll hit them with this blue wash, this blue coloring. So we'll probably do these last. So we'll probably do our silver next, and I'm debating on the swords whether or not to keep them bone, because I actually can't, now that I'm looking at it again, I'm like, that looks pretty cool. Now that, but we might switch those over to being metal. I don't know. The bone looks pretty neat though. I think it looks pretty nifty. So let me know in the comments if you think the sword should stay as bone, or if we should change those up, and then we'll go in and we'll finish up all the detail on these as we go. So this one's actually not done. It's just at a point where I'm ready to put it on the table. So, and then I'm actually going to break all these guys off their bases with one of my tools here and do a basing thing. I'll probably do this tomorrow for this guy. I'll get him all based up and everything. Let me see if I can get him off his base really easy or if it's going to be a pain in the butt. And then we'll get out of here. So what do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 guys started, and one's almost finished. I would say this is almost finished. Let me grab my chisel tool real quick. See if we can get him off of his base real quick so we can do a basing thing tomorrow maybe. So I don't want to hit myself with that blade because that's going to hurt if I do. We might not be able to get these off of here very easy. I don't know what they use to stick them to these bases. I like to use glue, but I'm not. Maybe they use like some kind of like cement or something to get these on here. Well, it's not coming off easy. It's actually moving my tool around, which is crazy. So we might have to come up with another way to break these guys free. It looks like it's getting through it slowly. So we'll probably do this off stream so I don't cut myself and bleed all over the stream. That would be bad, and YouTube might not like that. So I'll try to get this guy off his base so we can go over to how I'm going to base them and some of the basing materials I bought for these guys. Hopefully tomorrow. But like I said, subscribe, like, follow, comment below, and check out my TikToks because I do the speed paints on here as the shorts, and I also put them on TikTok. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. I'm gonna hang out and chat for just a little bit, but if you're wanting to chat with me, then you can stay in the chat. Otherwise, have a good night.